Hello, fellas and ladies. We're done. The last TIFF review. Unless I decide to do like a big review where I get everything else I didn't review into one review, but I haven't decided if I'm tired enough or not. We're going to end off on a high note, but I got to give one more shout out to the boys. Bite Size Breakdown. Wouldn't be here without them. Great website. 100 word reviews, multiple reviews for one movie. It's good. You get a range of opinions, or maybe we all agree and it's one opinion. But either way, you should check it out. Movies and TV shows on there. Please check it out. It'd be very nice if you did that. We're ending off with the TIFF People's Choice Award winner, The Life of Chuck. Written, directed by Mike Flanagan. Based on, I believe, a novella by Stephen King. And this is the part where I describe the plot, but I feel like the plot is best, unspoken. Because if I try to explain it, I sound like a crazy person. All I'll say is the title isn't lying. It's about Chuck's life. Who is Chuck? You'll have to find out. Movie grabbed me. I gotta be honest, this movie grabbed me. Question of, did it deserve to win TIFF People's Choice? Wouldn't have been my vote, but my answer is yes, it did deserve it. This is an outstanding crowd pleaser, and quite frankly, just a beautiful film overall. The movie is told through an interesting structure. It's one of those movies that, like, quote unquote, starts at the end. Like, it straight up says Act 3 at the beginning of the movie, and then Act 2, and then ends with Act 1. Act 3, the beginning of the movie, is essentially has nothing to do with Chuck. Kind of. Mostly focused on Chiwetel Ejiofor's character, which is he's really fucking good, by the way. Again, I don't want to give anything away, but there's something of a cataclysmic event going on in the first, third, at the beginning of the movie. The tone of this one is very much absurdist comedy. It sets the stage pretty well for what Mike Flanagan is going for. This movie is mostly a life-affirming movie. This is mostly just about, hey, life is worth it. Keep going. Sounds corny, but that is what we're dealing with here. And it's told very beautifully. Act 2 is mostly nothing. Act 2, I'm just gonna let it out. It's mostly just Tom Hiddleston dancing. That's most of it. There's a little more to it, but that is the majority of it. Act 1, aka Act 3, is where we spend most of our movie, which is basically little Tom Hiddleston's character. I just want to get the record straight. Tom Hiddleston is barely in this movie. He is very front and center in the second act. But aside from that, he mostly just dances, and that's what we see of him. He is really energetic in this one dance sequence that's going to get a lot of people happy. It's going to get people cheering, get my audience cheering. It's very beautifully made, wonderfully edited. I'm really sorry, I don't really remember what the actresses' names are, but there are two other actresses in this sequence, and they are really, really good. The final act, called Act 1. It's confusing. You get used to it. For the record, while watching the movie, you get the gist of it. Once the movie's over, you might be a little confused in the outset, but you get it eventually. You get why it's told in this fashion. Final part of this movie is a lot of the movie. It's mostly this kid's childhood, seeing what he went through. We get a glimpse of Mark Hamill, Grandpa, who gives one of my favorite performances from him. He's really good. He's great at his monologues. He's got this curmudgeon-y kind of thing going on, but there is something tragic underneath that you really love. I will say the movie looks really digital. Like, it looks like a Netflix movie. Other than that, I think the movie is very well made, very well edited. I actually really was into the score. I found myself really, vibing with it. Some will say it's one note, as it's just life good, and I'm like, that feels a little oversimplified. No, the movie is life about how life is good and how we should embrace what makes us happy even in the face of tragedy. But I think there is something very valuable about that. It's a movie that makes you want to get up and dance. It's a movie that makes you want to embrace what you love. Isn't that worthwhile? I don't know. I ended up being very happy once this movie was over. I even found myself getting a little emotional. I think there is brilliance hidden underneath this movie. I do think when you look at it on a face value, there is a lot more to it that the movie wants you to take in. Like, you get your central joy out of the way. There is something very profound that this movie wants to take away from it. That life will throw some fists at you, but there is always something worth it. Am I supposed to not like a movie that makes me feel that way? That makes me feel that I'm not here for no fucking reason? It's such an easy movie to fall for. I fell for it. I don't know why, but my expectations were just whatever. I didn't think I was going to dislike it, but I just didn't care. And I ended up just falling in love with it. Life of Chuck is the kind of movie that just makes you want to embrace life and dance a lot. The ensemble is terrific, and it's well made enough. And once you get the gist of it, you'll fall for everything Mike Flanagan's gracing you with. And I'm going to give Life of Chuck 9 Flanagans out of 10. This movie won the TIFF People's Choice Award, which, let's follow that, trajectory. Every single winner since 2011 has gone on to get nominated for Best Picture. Now, we know it's coming out next year. I'm not going to predict it just because it won TIFF. You need a little more than that. If Wild Robot won TIFF, I was never going to predict it for Best Picture. That said, I did feel there was something Oscar-y about this movie while watching it. I just didn't jump on it because I didn't think it was coming out this year. Next year, however, Neon has it. They're saying they want a summer release. Some people are a little nervous about that. I think that's brilliant. I think that is a brilliant move by Neon. This is a summer movie. It's going to make a fuckload of money. And I think, again, it's going to be big enough that, it's going to be embraced by audiences and voters. Its nomination haul is a little weak. I will say that. It's not going to get director. Screenplay can get. Supporting actor, I think it would just be Mark Hamill. If you really want to throw Tom Hiddleston in, I wouldn't do that. Again, he's very minimal role. However, he is the face of the movie. If you're kind of confused as to why he's the face of the movie, yet he's very little in it, it will make sense when you see it, why that image has been so heavy. It could get score, it can get editing, but that's not great. That's not the best haul in the world. Maybe production design, if you really want to throw that in there. But when time comes to finally predict the Oscars for next year, I think I'm going to predict this. Am I certain? Not so much. It's very packed, but that is how I feel. I did feel that there was something here while watching it. Now it has the award that has good trajectory. That doesn't guarantee it anything, but it's a good sign. So we'll see what happens next year. That is it. That is all. Thank you so much. If I don't do the final TIFF video, thank you so much for watching all of my TIFF videos. That was very nice of you guys. Like, subscribe, and share. And that's bye.